Welcome, Mayor. Huh? You didn't get papers? No, you have to go into your little folder. There's a little folder bin in there. She makes them for you. She puts them all in a box.
Christine? Oh yeah, I see your shirt. Are you staying for ours? Yes. Okay. Yes. All right, we'll get you in a little bit. Give us a few minutes.
Cookie maybe or something.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, it's your day, isn't it? It's your meeting. Something for us? Pass it over. Okay. Getting handouts now. Upgraded. Your new person that works under you doing this now or what?
Oh, this is me.
You?
This is still me.
Okay.
Take one and pass it down. I'd like to call this public hearing meeting of Monday, February 23rd, 2026 to order. Caroline, would you please call roll when you get a chance?
Ms. Wagner?
Here.
Mr. Lampa?
Here.
Ms. Glenn?
Here.
Mr. Ring?
Here.
Mr. Mishniak?
Here.
Mr. Hannon? Mr. Lombardo?
Here. Mr. Mishniak, are you okay to do the invocation?
Yeah.
And Mr. Mayor, would you lead us in the pledge?
You can bow your heads, please. Dear Lord, grant us the patience, wisdom, and guide us as we go about our business of the city. Help us make decisions that are always in the best interest. Give us the ability to listen to one another, hear each other, share ideas without offense, so that in the end, those decisions are the best possible outcome. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Item 4, agricultural placement renewal request of David and Doreen Danner, 9858 Elman Road, Manaway, Ohio, lot 30 north, lot 20 east, 30.58 acres. Is there any discussion on this item? Any discussion at all? Okay.
We can adjourn the public hearing. It will appear at the council meeting, I think, at the next meeting.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we're adjourned from the public hearing.
I'd like to call this Finance Committee meeting of Monday, February 23rd to order. Caroline, please call roll.
Ms. Wagner? Mr. Lampa?
Here.
Ms. Glenn?
Here.
Mr. Ring?
Here.
Mr. Mishniak?
Here.
Mr. Hannon?
Here.
Mr. Lombardo?
Here.
Item 3, disposition of minutes. There are none. Item 4, monthly financial report. Matt Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Ring. This is the monthly financial report for January 2026, and we're trying something new. We're giving kind of you a handout. I know it's a lot of information, and we'll kind of adjust this. I guess we could call it a dashboard if you'd like, but this is just kind of an informative view of where the city's at. Don't read too much into January because there's a lot of different factors. Obviously, we had open house, we moved. That can affect people getting invoices in, but some of the major happenings, and we like to compare year over year. For expense-wise, you spent about 9%. Last year, we were 8.98. In regards to revenue, in the general fund, we're about 8%. We were just a little bit under from last year's collection, but again, this is the first month. It's important to note, too, is looking down at the cash balances. We had a lot of outflows. What happens at the end of the year, we usually cut off the accounting system about midway through the month of December because we have a lot of balancing to do. Well, a lot gets into the queue. And then when we opened up January 9th, we did our first check run. Well, everything just comes flowing out. So there's a lot of outflows, and some of our major outflows you can see in the box up in the right. We were paying ODOT. We had about a $1.9 million payment, which you'll see coming out of the 401 fund. That obviously a quarter of the fund went down, paying just for ODOT, as well as 2 City Hall payments. Again, that was all budgeted. It's all part of the plan. But those some major outflows. We did have a little bit of debt. Season Road water line we've been paying on a little bit. And then our Vector lease came out in January. And then some of our major payroll items, we had to pay out some uniforms per union contracts, as well as good attendance and HSA. HSA is brought out in the 102 fund. That was about $85,000 that we paid out. And one of our other major items we had to pay out in January was property and cyber insurance, making sure everything, much as we can get covered by insurance. Obviously, some of our major inflows, we all talked about it, cannabis. I spelled that wrong. I know. I'll fix that. Income tax, which is normal, interest, and we had a couple insurance reimbursements in January. One was for the mayor's vehicle that was in an accident, as well as we had a claim in regards to the police station, and we were getting a payout for that. The water department, they're in their main billing cycle in January. So they obviously are going to have quite a bit of revenue coming in. In regards to outstanding POs, that's pretty normal. You're going to see those come down a lot, especially in the 401, as we pay down City Hall, among other things. And then next box is general fund carryover. This is, of course, is a snapshot from the other document you receive in your email, giving you the amount that's estimated. Again, these are estimates over the 25% carryover. And then on the bottom side, you have your expense versus your revenues. This is all just the general fund, since it's our major fund. And just kind of some categories we look at. This is what is helping us dictate our 5-year operating plan, which we're working on so we can get some projections. Just kind of break down some different categories across the city instead of looking at it by just the total of the fund. Kind of gives you a deeper insight into some of the categories that we can analyze. Any questions on any of the January financials?
I don't see any.
Not a question, but a comment. This is great. I love this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
That is all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miller. Yeah, this is a good format, quick, easy read. All right, moving on to item 5, old business. We have none. Item 6, new business. Veterans Grave Marker Project. Christine, Untrauer? Sorry, I didn't want to butcher that.
So, my name is Christine Untrauer, and we started the Veterans Grave Marker Project a year ago in February. And since that time, we've been working in 16 cemeteries in the county. I have found a couple in your cemetery, a husband and wife that both served, that they don't have their military markers. So I'm going to move forward with that as soon as I can. But what we do is we go into the cemetery, we make sure everything is in find a grave. All the marked graves are recorded there. Once the cemetery is all recorded, then we take the list that the cemetery provides us, and we check it against what's in find a grave, and that's how we're finding the unmarked graves. We've done a lot of work in Maple Grove because I live in Ravenna, and I have walked that entire cemetery way more times than I should have. But in there, we have found easily 5 Civil War veterans that one of them served the entire war, and then he died, he got out in 1865, and in 1866 he was struck by a train in the city of Ravenna. And from that point, he never had a marker on his grave. So since 1866, there was nothing that even said he was a veteran. So taking care of that, he now has a marker on his grave, which is something that there should be no veteran that lies to rest. So our project is expanding. Like I said, we're moving into more cemeteries in the county. Summit County wants to get started, Cuyahoga County. It's going to expand throughout the state, but my goal is to make sure that no veteran is in an unmarked grave. There was a young man for 1 month and died, came home in 1868, was buried, and there was too. So he is really what got us moving, looking more into the cemeteries to find this. So the main reason I wanted to meet with you tonight is if someone comes up to you and says, I know you're a council member, and who is this lady? You can explain what we're doing and the why. And why is just simple. So we'll keep working. If you don't mind, I'll come in maybe a couple times and give you an update. So far, between what's been installed, what's in the cemetery to be installed, because obviously you can't put markers in the wintertime, and the ones that are submitted, we are up to 139. We had 2 more approved today. So that's 139 of our veterans that will no longer be in an unmarked grave. So did they get the paper that I sent? So you guys have the update? Yes. If you have any questions, my number is at the bottom. Please reach out to me. If you know of a veteran that should have a marker that doesn't, please let me know, and I will work on that. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you tonight. Does anybody have any questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Mayor, your mic is not on.
In the cemetery that is ours down by the Methodist Church, we actually have an American Revolution veteran in that cemetery. And Billy, I think, do you have the whole list down there?
Yep.
Billy is the sexton for our thing, and we have a whole list of people, so you may find other ones on there.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't even know it until we got the list, and this guy actually, he served in the American Revolution, and I thought that was cool as heck, and I doubt if he's marked.
Okay, we can take care of that. I'll give you a call, and then maybe I can get the list from. I might have your list. I know I have a list that I think I do have it. I don't know if I have the veterans list, but I have the other one. So I'll make sure I take a look at that.
Do we have a list for Cackler Cemetery? Cackler Road Cemetery?
I,
Because I know there's veterans in there, for a fact.
do we have a record of Cackler Road?
I don't have any records on that.
It's a much smaller cemetery, but
Smaller, I mean, we mow
are there
it.
stones there? I've never been.
Yeah, we mow it. It's on our mowing list.
Okay.
The contractor, so it's kept up.
Christos might know something about it.
Well, there is in the recorder's office, there's 2 drawers that have cards from every veteran, probably up to like 1996. So when I'm there again, I'll take a look. It's Cackler Cemetery. I'll look and see if there's cards in there. If there are, that doesn't mean they're marked. It just means they're there.
Right.
So maybe that would be a great way to find them. I can work on that.
Good, I appreciate it. I really applaud you for this project. I try to stay heavily involved with our veterans clubs in town, and I really respect supporting the veterans, and I agree wholeheartedly that no veteran should be unrecognized and be unmarked. So thank you.
You're welcome. I feel that this is the last thing we do for them, and just so no one forgets them. We got a chance to go to your VFW here, and they were great. everybody just seems to embrace this and understand what we're doing and why, and I think that's important. I appreciate your help.
Thank you for doing it.
You're welcome.
I just have a quick question.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Hannon?
What do you mean by marked and unmarked? Are you talking about a physical headstone or just putting something on an existing headstone that
So what we do is we get the VA markers, so they're a 24 by 12 marker, and I think you guys wanted to stay with the bronze, correct? Okay, so some cemeteries want the granite because no one's gonna steal the granite. They're 130 pounds, no one's gonna just walk off, and people can't take those and have them melted down, and that was what was happening. There's one cemetery that lost 60 markers because people stole them. So that's a big deal. But, so a totally unmarked means there's nothing there. But you could have a veteran who died in 1995 that just doesn't have their VA marker. We're going to get those for them. And we'll make sure we, keep in contact with the cemetery and get those done. There is a law, a federal law that's in effect that if a veteran died before November 30th of 1990, they're buried in a cemetery like Evergreen, and they have their own marker. They are not entitled to a military marker. And we're pushing hard to get that law changed, because how did we ever pick a day that said that if you died before that day, you can't have a marker? And it was approved, and we're just working hard to get that changed. So if, when the legislation goes through, it's going to take probably 2 years. But once it does, I've got 140 in the drawer just waiting for me to fill those. And we will make sure we keep working hard to take care of our veterans. Did that help?
Yeah, thank you.
We'll take care of that.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes. I see that you're a 501c3. How do you get your donation? Everything
right now is just, like we're having a fundraiser in May. It's going to be at the American Legion in Kent. It's a concert and heavy hors d'oeuvres. It's going to be a great evening. Tickets are available. If someone would like to come, just call me at the number at the bottom and we'll get you tickets. Everything is donation. We don't get any funding from any government entities at all.
So if I wanted to donate, where would I donate? If I couldn't make your event?
I think the address is at the bottom.
Okay, just mail a check?
Yes, you can, and payable to the Veterans Grave Marker Project.
Do you get donations from the Veterans Clubs, like the VFW and the Legion?
Yes, a lot of them have been very generous. Even outside of our area, we've had donations coming from Texas and South Carolina. And some markers are free to put in. Some cemeteries don't charge anything, and some charge up to $430. If they go on the back of the stone, it can be between $400 and $600. But we're going to take care of that. We're going to pay for those because, again, we owe them this. They said they would die for this country. We have to do this for them. If it's the last thing that we do for them, I think it's important that we take care of that.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, items B and C are being removed from the agenda. Item B is being removed. Should we just put it on next finance or next service? Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to move T7941 to next month's finance meeting.
So moved.
First and second to move. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that is moved. And item E, we're just removing directly from the agenda with no movement, correct? The road assessment.
Mr. Gorick?
Yes, and I sent an email this morning to both Councilman Justin and Mary Ann regarding removing that. After talking with Mayor, talking with Bill, and even Matt Glass and some other people, we feel that we have all the information, just not videos. So we can move forward, to do, we already have for 26. But for 27, 28, 29, as long as there's not some major storms we have the major list of the roads that, are in the red, are, below failure. So we know those. But we can, still look at the other roads and just make sure there's, nothing, and I know what Bill does with his remediation and doing all the crack sealing, everything. And if something comes up, I know he'll let me know. But we feel like that we can, save the city money and not need the fancy videos, but we have all the Excel spreadsheets and they've given that to us. So we have all that in our engineering records now, so.
Great. Any discussion? Well, thank you. Appreciate you looking into that and finding a solution that saves us money. So I do appreciate that. Thanks. All right, item D, T7949, additional citizen serve licensing. Mr. Kaufman.
Thank you. So this is just adding 3 additional citizen serve licenses for the new building inspectors that we brought in.
Any questions or discussion?
If there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council.
First and second to move to tonight's full council. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that is moved. Item E, T7950, annual purchase of Dell computers. Mr. Kaufman.
Thank you very much. This is for our 2026 PC replacement. We generally do 2 a year, but after talking to our Dell rep and seeing how the prices have changed, specifically with the RAM in the computers, we decided to just do 1 this year, and we minimized the number that we were going to do. We were going to be closer to 20, and we got it down to 14 for our replacement. So
We purchase these or we lease these?
we purchased them.
All right, any discussion? Mr. Lampert?
What do we do with the old ones?
So if they are still readily usable, we wipe them. They get used by the senior center. We use them for loaners. We put them in the conference rooms as computers, things like that.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
If there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council.
Second. First and second to move this to tonight's full council. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that is moved. Item F, T7951, contract for design of the Gateway Green and Gazebo. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. The Gateway Green and the Oval are all still in progress. And our next step is to possibly construct a gazebo. It needs to be designed. And the rest, we have changed a little bit of the way that the Gateway Green is laid out. There was an abundance of sidewalks, and we didn't feel that there was that many sidewalks that were necessary. So we spoke with Level Heads. Level Heads has worked with us on the community center and on with City Hall. They do quality work, and they do it at a fair price. And I'm working on something with the gazebo, but before I can go any further, I need to have a design. And we would like to hire Level Heads to design the gazebo and to design the rest of the stuff around the Gateway Green. And they have quoted us or given us a price of, let me get back to the page here, I was just on it. $26,900 for the design of the Gateway, Gateway Green, and for the gazebo. The gazebo is going to be about 20 by 30, 20 by 40. It's not going to be more than probably a foot off the ground. If we keep it under a foot off the ground, we can. It makes it a lot more handicapped accessible. We don't have to put ramps in. We don't have to put railings in, because I really want the front of the gazebo to be open. If we're going to have bands and stuff up in there, I didn't want something to block the people. And it will be, similarly designed to what we have here. It's going to be up to us what color we want it. We can have it white like a traditional gazebo, or we can have it, and I'm sure with just a flick of the switch, they can give us any color that we want. So I would like to ask council that we engage Level Heads to design the rest of the Gateway Green and the gazebo at $26,900.
Question, do you think that keeping it 1 foot or less above grade will impede the sight line for people who want to come watch a band? Like, they're going to be level with it, so you're going to have, typically when the stage is a little higher, you can see it a little
Most of the people are going to be in lawn chairs and stuff, and I mean, just having them up that high, they may not be able to see their feet. But it won't impede the flow of music or anything like that. If we do show movies or something on there, the movies are gonna be on an elevated screen and people will be able to look above them. I mean, we can definitely look at it.
I don't mind, I was just wondering, because I was thinking about,
I thought we had taken it into consideration.
Okay, good. Mr. Hannon?
Thank you. What's the estimated cost of the gazebo? Do you have an idea of what we're willing to spend?
I won't know the estimated cost until it's designed, okay?
Is that something that, and I know I should know this, but I just really don't remember. Mr. Miller, was that in our 5-year plan to have the gazebo? I'm just trying to think long-term when we're
Correct.
actually approving this. It was?
Yes. Kind of waiting, we're just waiting to get a price.
Okay. And then with the sidewalks and stuff that are mentioned, were those part of the infrastructure, like I forget what the exact word is,
Well, they were part of the original master plan, but the way that they had the sidewalk design in the master plan really kind of cut down on the usable space that we had, and we decided instead of having multiple sidewalks going through it and around it, that we would have more than likely a perimeter sidewalk. People would be able to cross from the road onto a sidewalk. They would be able to do the perimeter, and then they would be able to go into, we planted hardy grass in there. We planted grass so that people would be able to walk on it. And there will be a crosswalk, or there will be a sidewalk that goes from our building over to the restroom, and then from that center portion of that up to the front of the gazebo, and then off the back of the gazebo, so that would all be accessible.
just real quick too, kind of off Mr. Ring's point, if our plan is to have this gazebo kind of serve as like a place for bands to come, if this is our move towards sort of an amphitheater.
No.
Well, I'm not saying that, but like it's kind of like an alternative to
This
that.
would be like Bobby Joe's brass band comes in on a Sunday afternoon.
But even when a basic band comes, I feel like there needs to be, basically the point I'm trying to make is like with the electrical needs of a
That's why we
small
need
band.
to have it designed.
Okay. I just
We already
wanna,
have the electric. We already have the electric in the oval. Excuse me. When we had the construction trailer here, they had ran the electric for it, and we have been told by the company that installed the electric here that the electric that's being supplied to that subterranean location is adequate to do basically what we would want. And that's why it needs to be designed. There's going to have to be plugs and probably a breaker box or something.
I just hate like when things, and I'm not saying that this has happened with us, but you see it in other cases where you don't kind of build it to what you want, and then it's an afterthought, and then you have to add in the electrical and everything later. So
Exactly.
just to make sure that
That's
it's
what we're trying
sufficient.
that's what we're trying to head off. That's what we're trying to head off. I hope the avenue I'm pursuing pays off. And if it doesn't, and it ends up that this has become our cost, it would not be done till next year. We don't have the money in the budget. We would have to budget for it next year.
I mean, I think it's
Fingers crossed.
I think it's a great idea, though. I see Hudson and Aurora both have the gazebo, and those are popular destinations.
Oh, yeah.
For prom pictures, stuff like that, homecoming pictures. Like
I
think
could do
it's
weddings out there.
yeah, exactly. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Lampa?
Thank you. So when you say, is this going to be a platform gazebo then, kind of like what we had the stage in City Park?
No, it's going to be a gazebo.
I mean, there's going to be a roof on it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be, it will be a fully, think about what you believe, what you know a gazebo is.
Well, usually there's
It's gonna be
stairs
that,
and there's
but
like
bigger.
railings.
Yeah, it'll have edges, it'll have eaves, it'll have a roof, it'll have peaks.
So do you walk from the grass and step right onto the platform?
You can walk right onto the front of it or to the back of it. This one, we are going to get multiple iterations from Levelheads. We have, we talked to them about it and, said, this is what we're looking for. And, you know, as you can see with this, they have a great imagination. I am sure that they're going to bring us multiple iterations, and then, you know, naturally, when it comes time to it, you know, we'll bring them in here, we'll pass them around, and just like you did with the other stuff, we'll, you know, we'll make a decision. We'll make a decision from here. I mean, the only thing I can tell you for sure is that I'd like to have it made out of Trex, so it will be a little bit more expensive, and there's no maintenance on it. There's no painting or anything like that. And when, you know, when we give them the go-ahead, I'm sure that they will, that they'll get started on it, and we should be able to have something, you know, within a couple months anyway.
Well, I love working with level heads. I did it up with the community center, and I wasn't involved in City Hall, but they're a great group.
Yes, they are.
The design is
It
flawless.
was a pretty easy decision to go with them.
Who is representing council on these meetings,
On what?
with the design meetings?
I don't know. We haven't hired a designer yet.
Well, when you do, I would be interested
Oh,
in
that's,
sitting on that,
that's fine. That's fine.
unless somebody else wants to.
I can have up
I did
to
the
three of
senior
you.
center, so
You know, there can be up to 3 of you involved.
So based off just pivoting to another question, so the gazebo would be on, towards the fire station?
Correct. We actually moved it back, we did move it back considerably from where the master plan showed it. The master plan showed it more in the middle of the
Yeah,
oval,
that's what I see.
and we lost too much space because of that.
Well, it's like, it looked like the gazebo was in the middle of the walkway, kind of, so you have.
Yeah, and no, we definitely wanted it moved back. We wanted to be able to have more people on the green.
Don't you think, I guess we'll see the design, but I'm thinking about logistically. Why would we put the gazebo on that side facing this way, and you're gonna have music and bands playing facing residential where the noise is flowing that way, as opposed to it on the other side facing the fire station uptown, where you're not gonna have the music traveling into residential areas? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
We're not going to have Led Zeppelin out there.
I understand, but still, someone's gonna complain. So, and if you give them a less chance to complain, you know, it's just again, we'll wait for the design and see what
Well,
happens.
you know, there will be noise emanating from it, just like there is with the kids out there at the park. You know, I don't foresee it being something, and you're absolutely right. We are going to have 1 or 2 people complain. There is no doubt in my mind, and you know, but we're not going to have something that is going to be, you know, Megadeth or AC/DC or anything like that. It'll probably be some, you know, a polka band or whatever, something small. The big bands that we have will continue to be down at the park, you know, for the Brew Bash. I'm thinking something more, and another reason why we can't put it down there is because we put a bowl of trees down there. So we wanted it to go that way. And I really don't want the people on this end of the oval, from the standpoint that they may have a tendency more to go on the road and be closer to the fire department and things like that. I wanted them on this side where we can pretty much kind of keep an eye on them and basically keep them corralled in.
Closer to the parking anyway.
What's that?
This side's closer to the parking anyway.
Yes, it is.
Any other discussion?
there's no further discussion. I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council.
Second.
First and second to move to full council, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that is moved. Item G, T7952, final ODOT resolution for State Route 303 diagonal project. Mr. Gorag?
Thank you. So this is, if you want to say, we had the 3 projects in one with the last one that we had to pay on. This is basically the 4th. And actually, I print some plans out if council wants to see, or I can explain. Because I've had some questions about where's the limits for this and that. And something we're working on to put on the website. But I did print some half-size sets. If people had some questions, I can explain it after council. But so we have to get this paid. It's sometime in March. So, but we want to get this passed so we can keep this moving. This project's not going to go out to bid though until April, and it's basically going to just be from July 1st, I believe, to September. So this one's a shorter span because the other ones are basically like 3 projects. And this one is one and it's going to be separate contractor that's being bid out for this by ODOT. So.
Can you tell me why there's a 60% increase in the price over what we budgeted for? That's a lot.
So this is what happened with the increase. So our favorite gas company, Enbridge, said that if we didn't put more than 36-inch cover, they were going to require us to encase all their pipe, and that was going to cost $1 million to do that, and we wouldn't have done the project. So instead, by increasing the road profile, we basically increased it just with, it's basically embankment, it's dirt. So that's why the price went up versus, the price went up, and I didn't know it was 60%. I've always seen 650,000 as the budgeted number.
Oh, I saw
I see 470.
460 was the original budgeted number. Now we're adding 260, 250.
Okay, I've never seen.
470 on our budget adjustment for
Yeah.
tonight.
I've only ever seen it as 650. And I thought, Mr. Miller, I thought that's what we had budgeted.
It's just timing when we brought the budget in, and then when transitioning between our city engineer and GPD, we just didn't have updated estimates. But we've already we've had a couple internal capital meetings, and we've timed out everything for the year. Worked with all the departments, so we know on cash flow wise we're okay.
Any discussion? Mr. Mayor?
By the way, Enbridge has requested a meeting with us, now we're meeting next week, and this is definitely going to come up.
Yeah.
This is the second time that Enbridge has pulled something on us. They cost us an additional $100,000 on the State Route 43 project because they had a very significant delay in them moving their gas lines, which in turn caused the contractor to delay, and we got charged of that delay, and I'm not happy about it. And this is another situation that, you know, that gas line's been out there forever, and for them to say that we had to reposition their whole thing, it was $1 million, was just absolutely ludicrous.
We'll give it to him when you meet with him then.
Well, it took a piece of my mind.
What do you mean by like are the gas lines just not deep enough? Like, do we have to raise the road up? Is that,
So minimum is 36 inches. They were that.
okay.
They said we want more, and I've never heard of it. Like we want 54 inches, and there was no. They just said there was really no. From when I talked to other people at GPD, and their explanation was basically if you keep it at 36, then you have to encase our pipe, or you can raise it up another couple feet, and then you don't have to, which I've never heard of ever. They didn't give any logic. They just said this is what it is.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. If there's no precedent for it, if it's already 36 inches and there's no issue, if the standard is 36 inches, why would we agree at 54? I'd say, no, we're just going to do it at 36, go pound salt.
Well, no, then they said, well, that's ours, you can't, you have to encase it then or you're not going to do the project.
The roadway's there right away? Right. Mhm. Mhm. Well, that might be their easement, but if the standard has always been, if there's no precedent for putting 54 inches down, what?
Well, and I can't say, so 36 is the minimum, and that's how everyone designs too. They just said, we want more than the minimum.
Are they going to be doing that on all our projects now? Just okay.
I mean, if this was, if it was just like a local road in our city, I think we would be able to fight back a little bit. But like I said, I think we were trying to find what's the best way we can keep the project going without, we basically came back and said if we increase it a little bit, and so that's what we did.
Yeah, I understand why we did it. It's just very frustrating.
It
that
is.
they're costing us hundreds of thousands of dollars of our taxpayer money.
They are.
They own it. They should pay for it. It's ridiculous. It doesn't sound like they care either, so. Okay. Any other discussion?
Motion to move this to tonight's full council.
Second?
First and second to move this to tonight's full council. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it is moved. Item H, discuss trim lights on City Center Clock Tower, Mr. Lampa.
Thank you. So I passed out a document that I created, and I believe Sam has one as well. I think it was our first meeting when I came here, and we had the lights on over by the restroom. I was observing the lights and everything, and it just looks so empty without the clock tower lit up. It doesn't impress me at all. And, that's my opinion. But I also looked up what the meaning of clock towers are. And if we're going to be talking about bringing the community here, they serve as a identity for the community. As you can see, there's several cities around us that light up their clock towers. I don't understand. I wasn't on the committee for that or even involved in that. But we put a clock on there for what reason? Was that for a clock tower? Like, why was that designed like that?
It was just a cupola, and we decided to put a clock up in there to make it more attractive.
Okay. So can we call that our clock tower then?
Want to call a clock tower over a toilet?
I wouldn't consider that a traditional clock tower. No.
Yeah,
I mean, you could see on the second page, it really looks like it needs to be lit up. So I was talking to Sam. Basically, we saved money by not doing the roof line of City Hall that nobody would see, and that was $1,400. And then this additional cost with saving that money would be $1,100. And it's up to you guys, but in my opinion, I just think it would look much nicer to have lights around it. And I also want to add in why we're designing this gazebo. Can we make sure that there's lights involved, because doing it after the fact costs more money?
yes. I guess the mic can't see me shake.
Thank you. I don't know, Sam, if you have anything else to add, but
I think you pretty much covered it. I did talk to the installer, and initially he did not think that the clock tower was as accessible as it is. So when he started getting in there and started working, he was like, oh no, that's actually very reasonable to do. If you look at the pictures, it's a little deceiving. It looks like there would be only one strand up, across, and down. But what you cannot tell is those corners will each have a section on each side of it. So no matter which way you're facing, you will see lights on both the left and right and the top of that part of the building, if that makes sense. So essentially, it's double lined.
It's going to be lined on all four sides.
All four sides, up and down and across on each side.
Any discussion? Or this is only for discussion today, but anybody have any feelings?
I mean, I just think that we should do it right. I mean, we want to make it look attractive. The lights on the fire station look great. The restroom looks great. City Hall looks great.
No,
I
Marion?
have a comment.
Yeah.
I walked up there the other night just to kind of get to look at it, and I do think it would look better if the clock tower, if that's what we're gonna call it, was lit up. It looks a little bit, you can still see the clock and the time, but it looks just a little bit like it's not included as part of the building without the lights on it for me. So that was,
Yeah, I thought a lot about this. I was really, when Mike brought it up, opposed. just for the fact that I think we spent way too much money to begin with. I feel we got ripped off in this project. Lights aren't that expensive. And I didn't want to spend another dime on lights at all.
That's the reason why he brought it up and not me.
Yeah. However, looking at the building, we already put the lights on, we already put ourselves into that hole, so they're there, that's over. I agree that it doesn't look complete without them on there. Like, I do agree with that. Like, it just having them around the edge of that and not highlighting the, you know, the edges and corners of the upper part. It looks like it's halfway done or empty. So while I'm completely opposed to spending more money on it, to be honest with you, I don't think I oppose it because it's just gonna look better. It really is. Like, I looked at it again tonight when I came, and I'm like, I don't want to spend a dime, but it just doesn't look right. It doesn't. It looks incomplete, and yeah, that's my opinion. Anybody else, Mr. Hannon?
Does our clock light up like the actual light? Because I know I just mentioned to Mr. Ring, but like all these pictures and like everything I Googled, like the actual clock lights up.
Yeah,
So
even Market Square lights up on that corner.
I just think it looked like if there was something that like would illuminate the actual clock, you know, not that people aren't going to actually look at that for the, you know, everyone's going to look at their phone or whatever, but no, I agree with what everyone's saying.
So what's the next step then?
We would need legislation, right?
It would be an amendment to the ordinance.
Do that by motion.
Didn't hear a word he said.
Yeah, you can draft another.
Yeah, turn your mic on. Caroline can't hear you.
I'd feel better if we drafted an amendment to yours, so we have it on paper, we can all look at it and see and agree upon something. We can get something prepared. If you want to link up with the law department, we can get something ready to present to council. Absolutely.
That works. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just had a quick question on this as well, since we're talking about the lights. I was talking to Mr. Ring and Mr. Lombardo about this, but like with these lights, is it something that we're going to have on all the time, or is it meant more for certain occasions? I just worry about, and I know that the lifespan of these lights are, you know, a long time, but sometimes when you have things on all the time, right, you know, kind of like people overlook it, you know, it's kind of like if it's the holiday, right, people are excited because they see the lights for the first time of the season, you know, so I just don't want to get old or bored with the lights. And sometimes too, just my thought, but I kind of like solid lights, you know, like when you're driving by here and they're flashing like green, blue, red. Like sometimes I just like, you know, I do this at my house. So I have probably the same sort of lights. But, you know, if it's Valentine's Day, I'll put pink on or whatever. But most of the time they're just, you know, like a white light.
Yeah, with the app that we have for the lights, the possibilities are truly endless of what we want them to look like. Different patterns, solid colors. There's holiday settings to where they're already predetermined in the schedule. You can just click them and, hey, St. Patrick's Day is happening, you know, March 1st through the 17th, or, you know, whatever you want it to be.
That's St. Patrick Day, 17 days worth of it.
Is it? So, you know, I mean, you can decide whatever you would like. As far as having them on, we still need to come up with a schedule. If we want them on sunset to 11 o'clock or shut off, or until 6 a.m., whatever the case we want it to be. How it's currently structured is the City Hall, Fire Department, and Splash Park obviously operate as their own control system, but we also have them in a group to where with one setting you go into all three buildings and you can set them all to the same thing. But yeah, we can change them.
I would just like to see, you know, like how many people actually drive by here at, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, right? So if they're on at 3 o'clock or in the morning or overnight, like, you know, I view that as like 8 hours of the lifespan that, you know, it adds up over years of time. So, you know, if we could preserve that too and have it on a schedule, like you said, turn it off at 11 p.m. or whatever the case may be.
We can do that, and then we can set it to the same schedule when the holiday lights, when they come on, and go off in the morning, and, we are flexible with all of that. We can adjust.
John, you're not talking about like the uplighting on City Hall, right?
I guess both,
'Cause I think those should stay on just for security.
No, I agree.
Oh,
I'm just,
okay.
I'm talking about like the trim lights
Yeah,
of the building.
I got you. Okay.
No, the uplights of the City Hall building, I think. I mentioned those because I think they were flashing different colors, like every however many seconds. It was like red, white, and blue, which was cool, but sometimes like just a solid, warm light is, people like to see that. It just lights up the building.
Mr. Mayor.
My own personal feeling is I don't think they should be illuminated every night. Okay, I think that we should keep them for those special days, like St. Patrick's Green at Christmas time, July 4th, Memorial Day, and things like that. I think it would lose, I do believe it would lose the effect if we had them illuminated constantly. And I laugh at people when I drive down the road and they still have Christmas lights on.
Well, I think to John's point, if they are going to be illuminated, I don't think that's an issue to have them illuminated all the time or nightly, but don't have them in color. Just a soft low white glow when there's nothing going on. So it just looks like a light. You know what I mean? As opposed to.
Cut them off about 11 o'clock.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, cut them off at 11, but
That's what I do at my house. Yeah, I have the lights come on. They're like a soft white until like 10 p.m. and then they go off.
So you can install these?
I bought like a $300 pack off of Amazon and put them on.
you can go to Home Depot, get the strips,
Justin
and a
fired up.
staple gun, man,
Don't
for
get
like
Justin all fired up on
$50.
Staple gun, that sounds high end.
Okay, so you're gonna get that drafted then? Okay, thank you. All right, item IT 7948, amend 2026 annual appropriations, Mr. Miller, Matt Miller.
Yeah, this is budget adjustment number 3. Some of the highlights, we're moving some money for the Citizen Serve license that Kaufman brought. We also need to move some additional money for the HSA, the 102 fund, as well as we're doing some ins and outs with uniforms. It just in regards to it, it would help me out with payroll booking if we just took it all out of 81. Some of the main capital items, I threw these on this budget adjustment, not realizing that the 303 tree diagonal would be removed from tonight's discussion. So if council wishes, we can strike that out. But the LED light, looks like we're moving forward with that for the clock tower, as well as the gateway green.
I think we can leave the tree removal on there, right? Because we're gonna have to do that at some point when we get an invoice anyway, so we might as well just make the amendment so the funds are available. You don't have to come back with it again.
Perfect.
Any discussion?
There's no further discussion. I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council.
Second to move this to tonight's full council. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, has been moved. Item 7, citizens' comments. Ladies, anything to say? You students? Okay. If you have any questions or concerns or comments, you can come up during citizens' comments, or if we're on a topic, and discuss it. We're just finishing our finance committee meeting. We probably should have told you this at the beginning, where we have all of our conversation and discussion about proposals, legislation, issues, whatever it may be. And once we get out of this, we'll move to our full council meeting, and that's where we take formal action and vote on the passage of actual legislation and stuff like that. So just to give you an idea. All right, item 8, announcements. A regular council meeting will immediately follow this meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
First and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
All right, I'd like to call this regular council meeting of Monday, February 23rd, 2026 to order. Caroline, please call roll.
Ms. Wagner. Here. Mr. Lampa.
Here.
Ms. Glenn.
Here.
Mr. Ring.
Here.
Mr. Mishniak.
Here.
Mr. Hannon.
Here.
And Mr. Lombardo.
Here. Item 3, disposition of minutes. There are none. Item 4, citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments? I'm seeing none. Excuse me? Oh,
Tony, don't complain.
got to do the work. Item 5, reports, communications from departments, boards, and commissions. Chief of Fire, Chief Reinholtz.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardo. Quick synopsis, what's happened in the last 2 weeks. We were in Aurora for a fire. Our automatic aid really is working out well. We were able to, with the cooperation with the Streetsboro Police Department and Aurora Dispatch, we have a single button now. When they push it, we hear it in our station in Aurora. And what that means is it saves time, whereas they'd have to call either dispatch, then they'd have to announce it to us. And we arrived at this fire at the same time Aurora. So we know Aurora is coming in, and then the other mutual aid will be coming in once their dispatch gets it and processes it. So this is a step forward, very big step. Last week we were in the ice water in the Trails Park over there in Ravenna, practicing ice rescue. Ice was about 7 inches thick still last week. We've been practicing down firefighter in their full bunker pants, coat, and their air tank on, how to do CPR, how to eliminate it, get rid of it, open up the coat, remove the SCBA in about 15 seconds. Every month University Hospital comes in and provides us training, medical training, which we talked about, shock. We went over electric vehicle fires, and we mentioned earlier how we're trying to use AI in fire prevention, other parts of the department. We try to have a tactical simulator using AI, where we'd have a fire, these are the conditions, all the information loaded in, then you'd have multiple choice, A, B, C, D. If you picked the wrong one, things went bad real quick. And that was very interesting. We'll have a member going next week for 80-hour safety fire inspector class. And Captain Novotny and his wife we're trying a pilot program called Leaders Are Readers. We're going to try one elementary school, grades 2 to 4, reading. Who does the most reading at the end of the month will be calculated. And then I'll get a ride to school in a fire truck. So we'll see how that works. And that's it.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Wayne, anything to add?
Just briefly, as far as training goes, we recently hosted a de-escalation class. We managed to get a good portion of the department through that at the station. We try to host as much as we can. We end up getting free seats, trying to extend our training budget. And last week, we had quite the chaotic call. At the time, Kevin Grimm and one of the other firefighters were at the department to actually watch dispatch and see what goes on in there and how much they actually do at one time. And it was pretty much chaos. I think the mayor can attest, he somehow got kind of roped into this one. It ended up with a reckless op that turned into somebody that hit a house, that turned into a T-bone crash, that turned into an individual driving through somebody's house or somebody's yard that we're all familiar with, to break down in yet another development and then go running into the cemetery before he was caught over there. Fortunately for us at that point, we had 2 dispatchers working, but I think Kevin got a real firsthand look at just how chaotic and unknown everything is that's happening all at one time. We didn't know that was all the same call. We didn't know it was one individual that was doing all that. At the end of the day, he got picked up for OVI, as well as the crash that he hit skipped, as well as the damage that he did in a variety of places in the car that didn't belong to him, which is fortunate because it's a brand-new car, so at least the owner had insurance. And the pickup truck that was T-boned on price, and the homeowner on price, and anybody else that suffered damage will have a chance to get reimbursed from it. But that is the kind of chaos that doesn't normally happen, and I'm really glad that we had two working, because they were busting butt on that one. So they did an excellent job kind of coordinating, getting everybody where they needed to be. And the best part of all of it is nobody ended up hurt. So all's well that ends well on that one. And on another note, we are getting a lot of interviews accomplished. So keeping our fingers crossed, we'll have some people hired soon. Thank you.
Chief, which kind of interviews? What are they for? You said interviews, but I wasn't sure what.
We're actually doing dispatch and patrol.
Okay, all right. And Mayor?
I was supposed to perform a marriage ceremony for these folks before all of this started. They were scheduled to be here. And Misty received a phone call from the fiance with two A's and said that we're going to have to delay this, okay, because he's got a flat tire. And then that same person called back a few minutes later and described the guy as being inept and couldn't change his own tire, and she was going out there. And at the same time, the chief is texting me, and I look down because the fire department got a call, and I see my address come up on the fire department call. And they did reschedule their ceremony for today, and called and said, hey, we're going to have to cancel. And it just made us wonder why.
Hey.
So your yard's tore up? Your yard is tore up? Is that what you were talking about?
Tore up.
Pulled into my driveway and then drove across our yard and into the neighbors and pulled back out on the 14, made the right-hand turn on diagonal and went down the street. And
What'd you do to them?
I didn't do anything.
I think it had a little bit to do with his lack of desire to partake in the activities he was scheduled for.
All right. Thank you for that report. Mr. Kaufman, anything from IT to report?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
I'm hearing the volume is much louder coming from the audience, so thank you for that. Ms. Edgar, anything from the Parks and Recs Department?
Couple things. So the lighting is scheduled, installed for City Hall, actually started today. So it'll be maybe a week until this is done, then they'll move to the community center. We have our father-daughter dance scheduled for Saturday, the 28th. We had 102 couples and 29 additional kids, so 233 participants in total. It's a great turnout. Yeah, that'll be at St. Joan of Arc. And we are getting ready to start hiring some seasonal workers, some grounds crew guys, some summer camp counselors. So if you guys know anybody, send them our way.
Thank you. Mr. O'Malia?
Good evening. Every 2 years, the state of Ohio releases its capital improvement budget grant cycle request. Probably 4 years ago, we were successful in securing a large amount of money for the Floyd North Bicentennial Park. The deadline this year is March 12th. As such, I'm requesting a special finance committee meeting on March 9th. The state of Ohio will require city council to pass legislation authorizing the mayor and I to apply for said funds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
John C.
It was well done. I just wanted to mention, at their last meeting, the Planning Commission did recommend the sign code update to City Council for their consideration. I'll be working with Caroline on sort of a calendar of how we're going to work through the process, but wanted to let council know it was coming. I'll be drafting a cover letter, and we'll formally transmit it for the next meeting on the 9th of March. I'd like to give council some time to chew on it, and it's an entire, I think, 35 pages of sign code stuff. Not the easiest, funnest reading. but didn't want to be presumptive in terms of next steps. So my thought was to transmit it at the next meeting, give you guys some time to review it, and then set it for perhaps a following meeting where you guys can ask questions. There is a one presentation that's in the sign code consultant's contract at the council level. I think I would prefer to have her here to present to council sooner than later or earlier in your review of the draft. There are just a lot of nuances associated with making the draft content neutral. She does these around the country and can probably much more adequately explain some elements of it. Wanted to let you know it was coming your way at the next service committee meeting. Also wanted to mention that later on this week it'll be my employment anniversary here at the city. I think we've gotten a lot accomplished. We still have more work to do, but I don't know, for some reason employment anniversaries have always been a big deal to me. Wanted to thank the mayor and council, and looking forward to continuing good progress in years to come.
Thank you. And how many years?
13.
13. Nice. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Engineering.
So last week I tried to get my report out earlier to everyone, so I don't know if you had a chance to read it. I think the really biggest thing is next week we're gonna have the pre-con for the first round of ODOT projects. So then we'll get an idea of what the schedule is gonna be, because as you can see, we have snow. There's no asphalt plants open right now. So, what are they gonna do first? And so once we have that schedule, then we can, and part of that is letting everyone know, the public, council, everyone in Streetsboro, so we know what's going on. And then as we have progress meetings, we'll update that schedule as it goes. So that's really the main thing that's going to be happening. That's going to really be affecting the city with traffic and so forth. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bill Miller, anything to add? Thanks for sending your crew out to fix that stop sign. They were very thankful that you had that handled quickly. We had a stop sign that fell off, and we had a lot of concerned residents. So Mr. Bill Miller sent his crew out immediately to get this stop sign put up, because there were a lot of people worried about it. So thanks for going out there. Mr. Miller from Finance?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Law, Mr. Law, Director, anything?
Nothing to report tonight. Thank you.
Ms. Hockhart-Reese?
Nothing to report.
All right. Ready to move on then.
Before we move on, I'll make a motion to suspend the rules. We're skipping the first two, correct? Yep. For T7948, T7949, T7950, T7951, and T7952.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lampa?
Yes.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner? Yes. Mr. Ring?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes. Those rules are now suspended. Item 6, introduction of legislation containing statement of emergency. T7948, amend 2026 annual appropriations number 3. Caroline, please read by title.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 2025-183, the 2026 annual appropriation ordinance number 3.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
A motion to adopt in a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lampa?
Yes.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner? Yes. Mr. Ring?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes. T7948 passes and becomes ordinance number 2026-29. Item T7949, additional citizen serve licensing. Caroline, please read by title.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to add additional licenses to our annual subscription with Online Solutions LLC, also known as CitizenServe, for a web-based software for various city departments and declaring an emergency in order to maintain continuity of services.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt in a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Lampa?
Yes.
Mr. Ring?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon? Yes. Ms. Wagner? Mr. Lombardo?
Yes. T7949 passes and becomes ordinance number 2026-30. T7950, annual purchase of Dell computers. Caroline, please read by title.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract without competitive bidding with Dell Inc. for the purchase of Dell computers and related accessories for various city departments in an amount not to exceed $41,607.34 and declaring an emergency in order to respond to time-sensitive proposal.
Motion to adopt?
Second?
Motion to adopt in a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lampa?
Yes.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon? Yes. Ms. Wagner? Yes. Mr. Ring?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes. T7950 passes and becomes ordinance number 2026-31. T7951, contract for design of the Gateway Green and gazebo. Caroline, please read by title.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract without competitive bidding with Levelheads for completion of contract documents and construction administration services for a new gazebo and site improvements within the Gateway Green and declaring an emergency in order to effectuate the contract.
Motion to adopt?
Second?
Motion to adopt in a second. Caroline, roll call.
Mr. Lampa?
Yes.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner? Yes. Mr. Ring?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes. T7951 passes and becomes ordinance number 2026-32. T7952, final ODOT resolution for South Route 303, State Route 303 diagonal project. Caroline, please read by title.
A final resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into contracts with the Director of Transportation as necessary to complete the intersection improvements on State Route 303 at Diagonal Road within the Streetsboro Corporation limits for PID 116254 and declaring an emergency to keep the project on schedule.
Motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt in a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Lampa? Yes. Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner? Mr. Ring?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes. T7952 passes and becomes ordinance number 2026-33. Item 7, first reading, there is none. Item 8, second reading, T7947, contract with Capital Rivers Connect for retail analysis. Caroline, please read that by title.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract without competitive bidding with Capital Rivers Connect for professional economic development services in an amount not to exceed $46,500.
All right, thank you. Item 9, third reading, there is none. Item 10, liquor license request of Kennel Lodge. Is there any discussion on that?
Make a motion, we take no action.
Mr. Mayor?
Are they asking for a license, or is it just a renewal?
Its type on the application says new, so
Yeah, it's a new, it's
Not
a
transferred.
C1, which is just to be able to sell beer to go until 1 a.m. So I'm assuming they're gonna have a little store up front, you know, with pop and beer.
Take out?
Yeah, yeah. So people can buy beer and take it to their room.
It's either that or the gas station.
They could walk there.
I mean, most hotels have that.
What's this town coming to, Mayor?
Most hotels have that. Every hotel I stay in has a little shop that you can buy beer or wine at.
Any motions to
I don't know.
take no action?
Yeah,
Justin made a motion. I think we need a second, so
You have a
second.
motion?
yeah, no action.
Motion and a second to take no action. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm hearing none. Okay, no action taken. Item 11, Mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardo. The first thing is very, very, very important. Your chairs have movable arms. Make sure when you push them back in that you lift the arms up. For some reason, they match up pretty closely with the edges, and we're concerned, my interior decorator is concerned that we're going to hit the ends of them, so Make sure when you get up, you lift the arm.
Been making
They're also marking up they're also marking up the edge of
And they will, they'll mark up the edge, so,
that's a magic eraser. They'll take care of that.
okay.
Good to see we're all worried about the new building.
To go along with what Brian said, ODOT is having the pre-con. I always like to go and attend in person. I am not a Zoom meeting guy or Microsoft Teams guy. I'm just, my technological stuff is not, I like to go down and be there, physically be there. And, like he said, we are going to, it's gonna be a mess, but I do believe that the way that the phases are gonna go, it may not be a mess for the whole time, okay? The resurfacing is going to be scheduled for nighttime. You can grind and drive on it the next day until they can put a new surface over it. I think that perhaps the two times it is going to be the worst is when they put in the new intersection at 303 and 14 and the square. And we don't know the timing of that yet. So, when we get that timing, when we get that stuff, we will naturally disseminate it to you folks. And also, I had IT Matt put up a notice on the website that says construction 2026. And as we get information in, not only will we update it to our social media, but it'll be updated to the website. I saw in the newspaper something came out yesterday, and one of the store owners says, well, they wished, he wishes that the city would communicate with them more. Those folks are on Facebook, okay? If they choose, we only have so many ways to reach people. I can't go and knock on 450 businesses and tell them, hey, this is what we've got. That's why we're going to put it on the website, and we're going to continue to use social media. So we're going to do our best to get the word out there, and we'll go from there. Like I said, pre-con is 3-5, and we will be able to update you guys. I'm hoping that we kind of overpromise the mess and that we underdeliver. So it's one of the few times where I like to underdeliver and overpromise. So we'll go from there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Item 12, President of Council comments. I just want to thank Parks and Rec for having the dance coming up. I take my daughter every year, so it's a pretty big hit. I end up hanging out in a corner with all the other dads for about an hour and then go home. So it's a great night. Thank you for having that. 13, council members' comments. We'll start with Mr. Mishniak. I saved some time for him this evening.
I'm going to give my time to John.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, do you have anything else to add?
Second. State of the City is Wednesday, 11:30. We still have room. So if you would like to come on down,
Forget that.
please, Chamber of Commerce, and we'll go from there. And our State of the City is good. So
Was your speech reviewed? Was your speech reviewed beforehand?
Wrote it.
you know what?
Who wrote your speech?
Me and ChatGPT.
All right.
Oh, geez.
Should be good then.
All right, this is going to be a good one.
Like it.
All right, Mr. Hannon, did you have anything to add?
I don't, but I will be at the State of the City, so I'll get to hear the ChatGPT speech.
Mr. Ring?
Thank you, Mr. Lombardo. A couple things. Mr. Miller, Bill, and the mayor, can we have signal service come out to the Seasons light at Seasons of 43? That light, it's turning red on 43 and green for Seasons Road when there's no cars. Triggering it. It's staying.
Look at it.
It's staying green coming off of Seasons for what I would assume would be typically the rush hour length that it's supposed to. And there, like, one car will be there and it'll stay green for Seasons Road for a minute and a half. I mean, a long time, just a much longer than it should at, 10 o'clock at night or at, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday.
That should be a demand light.
Yeah, it's not acting
Meaning
like
that you'll run a cycle on 43, and until the cycle on 43 completes, and then someone comes on seasons, then it would change. We're definitely,
It's just not acting like it, and I've noticed it, and I've had a couple people in my neighborhood
That's
talk,
fine.
say the same thing, so just want to throw it out there if you can get it looked at. The other thing, I was curious, I was driving, going to the old plaza, and I was taking a left onto 303 from 14. I was looking at the slip lane and that whole area where that's gonna get redone. And Vance Tire has two entrances. One of them's fully in the slip lane. What's gonna happen? Like, are they designing it so they're still gonna have two entrances to their
I don't know
business?
what,
Actually, I was just looking at the plans. I think it's actually, we're reducing it to one, I believe.
So one ingress and egress for their business?
Yeah, I can double check the plans on that, since I have them.
Have they voiced any concerns about that? Or do they not know? Because that's their business drive.
Let me
They have two
double
business-
check, because typically if we're reducing, let me double check on that, though. I don't want to give the wrong answer.
I just want to make sure they're aware, and they're okay with it, because I don't know how much traffic goes in and out of there. I don't pay attention to it, to be honest with you, but, there may be a reason that they have two,
because it was a gas station before,
Sure, yeah, that's true.
and it was much wider through there before too.
But I would imagine if they're getting any kind of deliveries, trucks or anything like that, there's not enough room in there for someone to turn around in a bigger truck. They'd have to pull in and then pull out that second egress. Like, I just want to make sure they're going to be okay, because I don't want to take it away and them just go, well, what the hell happened? Nobody told us, so, I appreciate you looking into it though. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Glenn?
No comments tonight.
Mr. Lampa?
We'll be at the State of the City on Wednesday. Looking forward to it.
Vice President, any comments? Ms. Wagner? All right. Item 14, announcements. Daylight savings time begins Sunday, March 8th, 2026. Bring ahead. There'll be a safety committee, service committee, and a regular council meeting on Monday, March 9th, 2026, starting at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. Item 15, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm hearing none. We're adjourned.
Next time it'll be like daylight over here.
Don't forget to put your armrests up.
Lift your handles up. Lift your handles.
I never put them down.
Walk into her office, to the front wall. Right, there's all of our names are folders. You gotta just grab it out.
My godfather's in the granite marble.
I do. That fan that was here, I turned it on, and all the blades exploded. He's missed the enrollment. He couldn't. It took. He